All right, hi, this is Atticus, and welcome to part two of Railroad Corporation 2. We're playing the single campaign mission that comes with the early access, and that is called North Subjugation. And we have made reasonable progress, got off to a pretty good start. We've got a nice line of good-looking track running all the way out through here to all the way up to Erie now. So we've got wood coming into our system, we've got coal coming into our system, we've got grain, and we've got flour, and we're about to get into bread. That's the next thing they want us to do. Now we've got decent money, we've got our research going, as I recall, don't we? Have we done that yet? No, that's right. We're ready to do that. What I've found in playing this game for quite a fair amount now, a few hours, I like to hit about $1 million and then get into research heavy. And I really should get into the very first part of it a little quicker. So I kind of wish I'd done that slightly sooner, but it doesn't matter. Now, my goal, I think I stated this last time, the goal when I play one of these chapters in the campaign missions, this was in Railroad Corporation, I followed that same pattern in Railroad Corporation 2, and it seems to work nicely, is try to get all your research done before you finish the chapter, because that way you're setting the stage with the most upgraded trains you could possibly have to go into your next chapter of the mission. So we're going to do that right now. We're going to install a research department. Level 1 requires 60 square meters, I think that's how to read that, of the office space, okay, so if we look at our research now, it's different from Railroad Corporation and similar at the same time. I like it better, I think. You actually now hire staff, individual people who have different levels of capability. So you go to staff here and we look at job applicants, and we can filter this by 4 different types. But we'll have these applicants level 1 through level 3. So we can see there's one level 2 here, and a bunch of level 1s that are applying for jobs. Now, what we're going to do here is go back to our research, and we start this one with the Memnon already available to us. That's our first train we're using. So we can start doing these researches, and we want to get out here. Our goal for research will be to get out to the Schenectady and have it fully upgraded by the time we finish. And we'll have to decide, do we really like the Schenectady better than Memnon for what we're going to do with the next chapter. So let's just look at kind of what does the Schenectady give us. It gives us 80 miles an hour and 85 tons of pulling mass as it comes out of the shop without any upgrades, right? Without any of the additional research. And there's a bunch of other stuff you could look at. You could look at fuel efficiency. You could look at how long they last, reliability, all that stuff. But I typically look at really the speed and the pulling mass. That's kind of the main things. The pulling mass tells you how many wagons you can haul in one trip, basically. And top speed tells you what's your potential. Of course, it gets dragged down by hauling a lot of weight. But generally speaking, and then, the tractive power here matters as well. Obviously, because that's one, how it handles slopes, and also how it gets started. When it comes to a dead stop, and what kind of power does it have to get going. But again, to keep it simple for myself, I'm basically looking at the top speed and how much will it carry. And so the Schenectady, just at its base, is 80 and 85. We can go back and look at the Patterson here at its base is 70 and 70. So it hauls less, it's a little slower, but it's okay. 70 and 70. Now let's look at the Memnon, which is basically a true freight train, as I recall. The Memnon, if we look at its technical details, it's much slower at 45, but it's at a pulling mass of 110 tons. So it's obviously it's meant to go slower but haul more. It's a freight train. But for my purposes, I'm thinking of everything as freight, really. And And we can trump this baby up quite a bit. We can improve tractive effort, pulling mass, and max speed, and how long it lasts, service life, how efficient it is with fuel, how easy it is to maintain and repair, how much power it has, all that good stuff. So we're going to do that, but our goal is to get out here to the Schenectady. So again, this one was like 80 and 80, wasn't it? 80 and 85. Okay, 80 and 85. And the Memnon is 110 and 45. The attractive power is 38. As I recall, the Schenectady was like 35. So it really doesn't have much more traction than the Schenectady. Has a much slower top end, and a fair amount to probably hold an extra wagon per trip, which is a big deal. But again, I think what we're going to do is we're going to target getting out here with our research. So we want to get over here as fast as we can. So let's go max speed. We will assign a scientist. Now what we'll do is go out and just hire somebody, right? We'll hire him and assign him, and boom, now we've started that research. And in the meantime, we want to get all this done. We want our Memnon fully trumped up for us just to get this one done. We might as well. We got the department, we're making money, blah, blah, blah. Let's just keep going. So we need 2 level 1s for this. So we'll hire this guy and we'll hire this guy and start our research. And I will tell you something I've done. Make sure you hit that start research. It's very easy to assign your 2 people and then forget to start the research and then wonder what in the world happened. All right, so let's go ahead and get this one if we can find the people. Hire and assign, start research. Okay. Repairability. Need 1 level 1. Now I said there's level 1, level 2, level 3. There are certain aspects, certain people certain researchers that require at least level 2 people and some that require at least level 3 people. So that's why you have the levels. But now here you can see we'd like to have this guy as a scientist. We need to upgrade our department to do that. Okay? Well, we've got pretty good money. So let's go ahead and upgrade to level 2 so we can hire this guy. And another reason we'd kind of like to hire him is if we go back here and look at him. Oh, that's the Mason Bogey. Never mind. That's upkeep on the train we're going to have way down the road. So that's kind of useless right now. But anyway, we'll take the guy and start that research. That's all the applicants we have. Now we could conceivably get more people. There is a way we can use the social land to build a science university, they call it, in one of our cities, any city out here on the map, and that will automatically give us a level 3 scientist to go to our research team. So we can get some more people. I think I'm pretty happy with that right now. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 researchers going, plus we've got now 5. We've got 5 going, one of them targeting getting over here to the other trains. All right, so that's research for now, and we'll come back to that many times because we'll get little messages up here telling us research is finished, and when that happens, that'll cue us to go take another look. Now we got to decide what we want to do next. So our goals are to deliver bread to these places. So we want to be quick about it, but we also want to make sure we hit our secondary goal, which is to get our research done. So that's going to take a little time to do the research. So let's talk about how we're going to do bread. Now, bread is made from flour. So you take flour and it turns into bread. I think it's actually 1 flour makes 2 bread, which is kind of nice. And the bread's worth more as well. You can see the flour sells at 38.7 and the bread at 36.2. Oh. The flour actually sells for more, but I can take 1 flour and make it 2 bread. So 1 flour is in effect 72,000 if I turn it into bread, where 1 flour is 38,000 if I sell it as flour, right? So good deal. All right, we own this land right here. We bought this at the end of the other one. So what we'll want to do, we'll definitely want to have our bread in the city where we're making the flour. It would be silly to put the bread production in another city and then require trains to haul the flour there to make the bread. So we're going to make our bread here, especially since we have a customer right there immediately, and we need to supply bread to Gulfport anyway. It's one of our tasks. So let's go see how much bread's going to set us back. 1,025,000. We have 906. Now the only thing we have to be careful with the money is kind of the dates. You know, when are we going to hit on a payment, like a big payment coming out of our cash, like our taxes, for example, quarterly taxes and that kind of thing. So let's just let this run until we have 1,025,000. I'm going to speed it up to the not quite fast enough fast speed, and we'll just let this thing run the way we have it set up for now until we have enough money to start making bread, because bread's going to make a ton of money for us. First of all, selling it directly to Gulfport, and then we'll go out to other places. Now we've got enough to buy it right now. We need 125. We've got 156. But I want to give us a little bit of leeway. Plus, I'm going to keep the research going. So we're going to hold off until we have a little bit more money to place that bread factory. All right. So we've finished a couple of researches. So let's go out here and keep that going. Let's go to service life, and we need 2 people for that. Assign, go. There's reliability here, and do we have any applicants? We do. We have an applicant. We can hire that applicant and keep going, and that's about all we can do for now, unless we want to build a university, and we'll hold off on that. So we got 1.3. Let's go to about 1.4 million. Well, there's another one finished. Go to pulling mass. Okay, we got 1, 2, 3, 4. We got 4 available. Let's assign one, and then let's look at related power, and we can put a couple of people on that. And then this one's going to take 2. I don't think we're going to be able to do it. We only have 1, and there's no applicants, but I think there's a 1 right here we can do, repairability. Oh, we've got 2 now. How did that happen? Okay. We've got 2 available. Let's go here where we need 2. Assign, go. Now, I really wish you had a better view of what's available. The only way I can figure out, you either have to go to the staff view, or you have to start trying to open one of these in order to see this, right? So I didn't know that we had these open or not. We have 2 and an applicant. Okay, so we can do, this is a 2. We can get you and you on that, and we can go a 1 here, assign you, and go, and a 1 here, assign you, and go, and that's all we can do right now. We don't even have any available research. Do we have people on this? Oh no, I thought we did. Okay, here we need 3. I'm going to hire this guy just so he doesn't run away from us. I really want them all. As soon as we have another change, we'll go, or another available. I've messed up. We'll go out here and get this one going. See, it's the long pole and a 10. I should have had that. Should have had that first. I really goofed up there. Okay, we've got, okay. Letting that run, now we got tons of money. All right. Good problem to have. All right, let's build our bread factory. All right, our bread factory. Now, we can see our bread factory is going to take 1 flour and make 2 bread. Beautiful. All right, we're going to tell this to buy in town, buy flour. So if you have, anytime you have less than 5, we want you to move some over from the flour mill, right? Our flour mill, we've been telling it to sell over 5, so that works, okay? Yeah, that should work just fine. And what we're going to do first of all is tell our bread factory to sell the bread to our city. In fact, we're going to tell it to sell the bread if you have any at all. Just sell it, and that'll sell up to 30. And we'll just kind of let that run. You know what? I'll take it back. Here's what we'll do. We have plenty of money. We can start shipping it off. We're connected to Novato. So let's start a train. Let's buy a train, and let's go in here and call this one the Gulfport bread to Novato. And we will go Gulfport, grab bread at the bread factory, go to Novato, and sell that bread to the city. And there we go. Now we'll start that. So we'll keep the bread. I think we'll do the bread. The selling of bread will be, we'll set up a rule that says if I have more than 5 in stock, right? So every time we get over 5, we'll sell it to Gulfport. Otherwise, we'll kind of save it, if you will, for our trains. And you'll notice that the flour's starting to go over to the bread. The bread's being made. We'll start loading our little bread train here going to Novato. There, it's got 4 already. There, it's already taking off. So excess bread will get sold here. That'll be great. We've got another science project done. This is moving quickly. Do we have 3 people available? We do. Okay, so assign. And it doesn't do you any good to put higher level scientists than you need on a research if they don't go any faster. It's all the same. Okay, so we've got this going for 110 days. We can knock this off, and we're just going to hang on to these scientists. We don't want to lose them. So we'll just eat that cost for a while. Bad management on my part. Okay, you go there, and you go there, and that will give us a fully upgraded Memnon. And what kind of tech are we looking at now? 50 mile an hour and 135. So we've improved it by 25 tons through research, and we've moved the speed to 50. And again, we were looking at that Schenectady that we're kind of targeting out here. See, we can't go, technology hasn't advanced enough to get out here, global technology. So basically, right here is going to be the end of our research for this chapter. And next chapter, we'll be working on this over here. But for the Schenectady, even unupgraded, it's 85 tons. So we'll have to see how much we can get out of the upgrades, but I think we'll probably end up running Schenectady's in the next one, just to have something different. All right, and we'll look at them and see. Now, the other thing we can think about, okay, we want to think about our total kind of supply and demand. So we've got bread being demanded here at a rate of 295 seconds. So you need one every 295 seconds, which isn't a lot, right? It's not very fast. So this will stock up pretty quickly. Same thing over here. Novato needs bread every 295 seconds. So we need 2 bread every 295 seconds. That's not exactly a rapid pace. And we're already producing it at, well, it says consumption time of 16 seconds. I think it's saying it's going to make 2 bread every 16 seconds. So we're going to have bread running. We're going to have plenty of bread, right? So let's get it shipped out to multiple places. Let's send it to Mesa. Let's target Mesa. Mesa's over here. And we have already started moving our line out that way. So why don't we go ahead with that? Now we can think about Erie. It's very tempting here to do Erie with the logging, to Salinas with the lumber mill, and I think that's what we're going to do. And then from Salinas we'll go to Mesa, and then we'll run trains from Gulfport to Mesa to do the bread. I think that's what we're going to do. So let's go with a new station in Salinas. And I put it over this way. And a repair shop, and add a track. And we'll build track. Now we could choose, if we wanted to just blast through here. Let's just see how much that costs. 858. Now, the only thing that's going to keep me from doing that, honestly, it's not the money. We're making plenty of money. But the tunnels, unfortunately, I wish they would change this. You can't put signals in the tunnels. So we would have this one block that is most of the trip, right? So that would actually cause us to have, I think, delays. We'd actually be better off going around the mountain and being able to put more blocks in so we can have more trains running at one time. So we're going to circle the mountain like that. Right? So it's a longer trip, but it's actually going to allow us to run more trains and have more volume through there. So we'll confirm that, and then we will do our alt and lock it into place. We will anchor it at a few spots, and I should have shown you that. If you're laying track and you don't like something, you can always undo the last piece you did, and then you can always say, I want to pick back up, so I'm going to continue adding segments, okay? So I'm hitting Alt while I do this, and clicking it in place, and running it in like so. There we go. Get some nice looking track there, and one way. I will, of course, my obligatory plea to the developers to give us a key or combination of keys where we can automatically lay signals throughout an entire section of track or between junctions of track, or however you want to look at it, but please, we need that. At least I certainly do. All right, so now we've connected Erie with Salinas. Now what do we want to do here? Now this is nice. We've got nearby lumber. Ideally we'd have lumber here, wood here, but we don't. But we have it nearby, just one station over. We have a sawmill right here, and we have a customer, immediate customer for the sawmill. Plus, if we look at lumber, we've got customer in Mesa, which would be great. We've got a customer back in Allentown. So we're going to buy this puppy right here, and then we're going to set it up to sell. If you have any, sell it in Salinas, and that'll be at $45.9 a pop. And here we see 3 wood are used to make 2 lumber in 49 seconds. So we need 3 wood every 49 seconds. So our logging over here is producing in 21 seconds, and we've already got it going out to other places. So one of the things we could consider is upgrading our logging. But you can see we have a little bit now. We're selling to the city. Yes, we are. Okay, good. Now let's go. Let's get some trains going, and let's go. Let's buy a Memnon, and we're going to have Erie. This one is going to be Erie wood to Salinas. And I think this one, I'm going to specify city, because I think Salinas takes wood. I'm not sure. We'll confirm that. We pick up wood, and we go to Salinas, and we go to the city. So we'll have one train that drops off at the city to help with city growth. And then we'll set up another set of trains, probably a couple. Let's go buy a Memnon. And this one will be Erie wood to Salinas, and I'll say to the sawmill. Okay. And we will set up this one to be logging station, Salinas, lumber mill. Erie, no, Erie is not ready for lumber yet, but it will be eventually. So let's save that, and let's put a couple trains on that. So we'll just do a copy of that setup we just did. All right, so now we've got a new business going with Salinas, and I'm going to let it run for a moment. We got, okay, we're making good money. You just have to watch, make sure you keep some cash. See, we're coming up to year's end, we're going to be paying our taxes. Is there any way to see what our tax bill is going to be? I don't know how to see that. Expenses, tax provision, income tax calculated on a quarterly basis but being paid annually. Tax provisions of 184. So it looks like at this point we owe 184,000 in taxes. I'm assuming that tax provision is for money that's coming up that we're going to have to pay. So we owe 184 on our taxes. I don't know if we pay them at the end of the year or in April. I think probably at the end of the year. So we got to watch that and make sure we have 184, but that shouldn't be a problem. We just have to make sure I don't, overbuild. By the way, I have been fired from Railroad Corporation. I absolutely have. I think some people have been frustrated that they do something and they get fired. This is not meant to be a super easy game, and you've got to think a little bit and manage your business. The thing I don't think it does well is it doesn't give us enough warning about upcoming expenses. There's no real, the reporting, management reporting, the books, if you will. Our CPA needs to get his act together because he's not doing a good job of giving us enough information to run our business. Now, so a lot of people would never use that information, never run their business, and would be totally surprised when they got fired, pissed off, and then probably rage quit the game because the game sucks. But no, it doesn't. You're just not managing your business very well. But it would be nice if the game itself gave us better reporting about what our upcoming expenses are. That would certainly be true. But I'm kind of just babbling here while I get this line set up. Got to watch my money, 134. See, I'm overspending here a little bit. I'll quit right after this and let the cash build back up a little bit. We're starting to get into some better ticket items, so the cash will build up. And when these trains work their way out here to get to area and start feeding that, then we'll be very happy, I think, with what's going on. So why don't we just wait till the year ends and we'll see if we pay our tax bill or what happens. Okay, there, Gulfport is finished with its deliveries. Oh, we got a lot of money. All right, good. All right, so let's get a train. A Memnon. Let's set this guy up to be Gulfport bread to Mesa. And Gulfport, bread at the bread factory, go to Mesa, sell the bread. You have to be careful about that. When a city gets big, there's only this one row here. You have to be careful. I have caught myself saying, well, they don't take bread. But you just have to click over here and scroll over to find it. So here we go. Control-Alt, left click, unload bread. Now we can tell it to bring something back, right? And I think in this case, since it's such a long line, we can tell it to drop along, go along the way and pick stuff up if we wanted to. But I think what we'll do instead is just say, why don't you grab some passengers and bring them back to Gulfport, and we'll drop them off and make some money that way. And then later we might think about, well, if one of these cities along the way ends up with wanting passengers as they grow, and they will, then we would think about changing that and taking the passengers off this and run a passenger line from Mesa to whatever city has grown. But for now, we might as well grab the passengers and bring them back. And we could even make them, since the main purpose of this is bread, we could make these guys optional. So if you got them, grab them. If you don't have them, that's fine too. So we're going to save that, and we're going to copy this and run a copy. All right. So that's going to take care of Mesa. It only needs 4, so the first train that gets out there will finish that off. Now San Rafael is right down here. Interesting. Now you can come down this way and get it, or we can come off of like Allentown and come over. I think that would be the way to go. Go over to Allentown and then down. So why don't we do this? Why don't we reconfigure Allentown, make it a bigger station? Let's go add track, and let's let this, like I said, let's finish the year here and see what happens with our. Now we've got our Memnon's fully upgraded. So let's just see what happens with our taxes and stuff at the end of the year. We've got tons of money. I could go ahead, but I just want to watch this. Okay, we'll pause it. Income tax payable 119 for Q4. In total, you paid 304. I don't understand this. So, okay, yeah, that's a little confusing, but what they're saying is that, yeah, that needs to be rewritten a little bit, I think. I'm nitpicking the words a little bit, but they matter. Income tax payable in amount of 119 for Q4. In total so far, tax is 304. So they calculate quarterly in case of net profit for the previous quarter, which I don't understand at all. But the accumulated tax for all the quarters are made, so you make a one-time payment at the end of the year. So you have to really watch when that year ends. This is the easy way to get fired. Is if we were to just go out right now, if just before this we had gone ahead and like built expensive track down to this San Rafael that we're trying to get to, and spent all our money and had very little cash, and then our tax bill came due. We could go broke. That's how you get fired. So kind of have to watch that. All right, so we made it through another year. We made it through our first year, really. All right, so let's I'll let this run a little bit. Let's reconfigure this. Once this train gets through here, I'm going to reconfigure this station. Maybe after these two trains get through here. Yeah, we'll pause right there. All right, what I want to do is have you run from Gulfport to Allentown and Allentown to San Rafael, which is down here in this corner. All right, so the way we're going to do that is we're going to remove this track here and here like so, and then reset it so that this track is going to there, and then this track, I'll hit the parallel again and go to here. All right, so what we've done is tell it to go into these two tracks at the station. So now that's reset, and now we can take these tracks here and run them down to San Rafael. And I believe I said this in the first episode, that we could have a train that comes in to these two tracks over here, and through the magic of this little black box, they can just as easily just pass through the station and go out over here. There doesn't have to be a continuation of this track going out the other side. They can go from any. You can have a total of 5 tracks at a station, and any of the 5 can connect on one end of the station, connected to any of the 5 on the other end. All right, so let's go down here. Well, we're going to need some. This is going to cost a little money. We're going to have to build a bridge and a fair amount of track. So let's wait for a big pay item to click somewhere. Let's look at. Yeah, we're still selling our bread. We're actually selling. We've sold 11. We're at 11 right now, and they've consumed some of it. So sold a little more than that. You can see we're taking bread. Here's our bread train going off to Novato. And we could be running it off to Novato faster if we wanted to. 6 high, that's pretty good. I'm going to pause it just so the time doesn't get away from me in case I start talking about something, which I have a tendency to do. So let's go build a station here in San Rafael, like this, and do our standard repair shop, add 1 track, and we're going to double track this back up here to Allentown. And notice it's a tight fit right here. I think I'm gonna come out. I think I want to come out of that. I think we'll have the track maybe go this way a little bit, and then maybe like that. Maybe that would be the left side to the left side like that. And we made a bridge, so let's get the nice bridge, which is expensive. So this is going to cost some money. So let's just let this thing run until we have some money. That bridge is a little bit unnecessarily long. It's kind of running along the river a little bit, and it's going to be 475,000. So we can think about let's just do it. Let's think about making it a little bit cheaper. I'm trying to balance. I want to make sure we can come out of here, right? The paper mill is in the way, but we're going to have to tear up a little bit of the city. This is different from Railroad Corporation. Railroad Corporation, the city would just flip when you put a station, but you can only put the station in one place. So here it's a little different. Let's see if this is any better. Unfortunately, I can't mark that. Yeah, it's about the same, but it does look a little cleaner. So let's go this way. Let's come up here and go up to the top like that. And what's that bridge? 4.9. It's actually more. So much better. Okay, so that's all right. It's only money. And notice I'm making this big old bridge. Now, that's sort of, those of you who know me from Railway Empire and Railway Empire 2, that doesn't sound like me, does it? But I'm kind of digging on this flat track that these trains can just really motor on. So we've got a 1.1 million, that'll work. We'll do a stone bridge, we'll confirm that. We're going to double track this all the way. We could certainly think about saving money and trying to do some kind of passing track or something, but I'm having a little trouble grabbing that right there. There we go. Get down on it. Get close. Okay. Do Alt to anchor it in, and Alt over here on the other side of the bridge. Just keep making sure that we get nice, clean double track down through here. And like so. And now again, we have to check our bridge and make sure we build the nice bridge, keep our speed up. 621, okay. Very expensive one. And we'll make sure we have a little padding. Let's get a little extra money in case expenses pop up. Let's get to about 800,000 and we'll build this. And again, fast speed is just not very fast, is it? We're starting to get some action up here. We're starting to get some bread coming out to make some big money. Bread coming up here to Mesa. Yeah, let's go. Right. So there's our double track. I'm gonna let it keep running while I do these switches or signals rather. Okay, there we go. Now, one thing worth noting, I think in the past I would have tended to run a line that goes like this and gives you a way to go Gulfport to San Rafael without going into Allentown. And I think I would have been wrong in this particular game, because I think it's much cleaner to have as many of the intersections as you can in your railway station rather than having them, as connections. I always wanted to build track that looked more like kind of what I thought of as real world track. And but the way the intersections work and the way the trains tend to queue up and wait on each other at the intersections, treating this as your intersection is actually quicker, because the train will just drive in there, it'll come to kind of a complete stop, and then it'll start this way. But it's very consistent. It gets in and out of there very quickly, and that's much better than having it tying up traffic at a little intersection here. So I would encourage you to use your railroad stations as your intersections to the extent possible. That does not mean you can't build intersections. You actually can. I've done it a lot in Railroad Corporation 2 is much, much better than Railroad Corporation for track laying and doing intersections. It actually handles them reasonably well. But again, having said that, I really like using the stations. So let's get our train going with our bread to San Rafael. So how are we looking on? Do we have any to export? Well, we're selling it to the city. Oh, look at this. We're filled up Gulfport with bread. Let's start taking it to San Rafael. We'll do a couple of trains going down there as well, so it's a long haul. If we had frequency data, route frequency data, we would know how many to run, but we'll just guess. We'll do Gulfport bread to, I'm going to call San Rafael RAF. Rafael. And Gulfport, pick up bread, San Rafael, sell the bread, and for now you can grab passengers optionally and bring them back here. And we'll run a couple of trains on that. Oh, yeah. Bread Rafael. Okay. And I also noticed that one of these cities, I think it's Salinas, is now taking passengers. It is. So what I'm going to do is take the line, I mentioned this before, the line that we'd set up for Gulfport to Mesa, this one. I'm still going to have it unload. Well, you know what? We'll just leave it. It's a long line, and we're not carrying that many passengers at a go. And I'm going to go ahead and start another train. By the way, we would have the option, if we thought we were going to do a lot of work out in here, we could consider adding a new depot, like say to Mesa. We could say Mesa, add station facilities, add a train depot, right? And then we could fire off trains that originated up here and save all that time. But I don't think it's worth it for this one. We will probably do that in one or two of the future chapters. Build a second depot. All right, so we're going to go, for this one, we're going to go Salinas passengers to Mesa passengers. Save that, and we'll go in here and call it Salina Pass Mesa. And that'll do. I also noticed there's mail. Now let's look at our mail. We might as well carry some. Mail. Allentown to Mesa. So why don't we do that? Let's do buy a new train. Let's go Allentown, mail, Mesa. Remember, in this game, any mail or passengers you see, they don't want to go to a place. They're not trying to go to a certain destination. They're just wanting to go somewhere. So we're just going to send them somewhere. So Allentown to mesa. And like that, and go. And that we could even think about running a couple of lines, a couple of trains on that one. So let's go down here to this guy and copy him. That's a long line. We'll run a couple of trains running mail that way. All right. Let's double check our research. Have I not started this? Oh no, that's the Schenectady. Oh, phew, scared myself. The Patterson. We've got 18 more days, and then we can do this one, and then we can get on this one. So we're gonna have to stall a bit. We're gonna get done way too fast, I think. We'll make sure on this task here we don't pay everything. And now we got San Rafael. We've already got that loaded, so we're almost done, I think. Yeah. Now you can play this so many ways, so many ways. That's why there is a fair amount of replayability, even into this simple little tutorial. We could take totally different routes. Plus they do, by the way, on the bread, each time you play it, you get slightly different cities that they want you to take the bread to. All right, so I think what I'm going to do with this one, because it's going to get a little boring here, I think. I'm just going to let this run. And I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I mean, obviously we could do stuff with we could boost our economy and all this kind of stuff. Here you see they gaining our tax, 213 for the quarter, no big deal. But that's going to get paid at the end of the year. We have to be ready for that. But there's so many things we could do. We could build up this whole map and make millions of dollars. I just don't have the interest in doing that. That's why I don't play Sandbox, because I just mindlessly building stuff doesn't turn me on. I am going to add a train. See, we have 2 to choose from now. Oh, that means we finished the Patterson. Okay. So let's go out here and get this one real fast. Get a couple of people on that. And then when that's done, I will do the Schenectady, and then I won't show this on the video, but I'm going to do the same thing. The way I just attacked the Memnon, we're going to attack the Schenectady and get all this research done that's relevant to the Schenectady, have it fully upgraded. That's as far as the tech tree will let us go, and that's when we'll declare success. So I'm going to go away for a while and just let this keep running. I might add a thing here or there, but I don't really. I mean, see, we could run mail lines all over the place. We can do anything. It doesn't matter. But again, I was saying the reason I don't play Sandboxes because you can just do anything, and when you can just do anything, who cares if you do anything? You know, that's the way I feel about it. So, for good, bad, or indifferent, that's the way I am. So, I'm just going to let this run, and I'll be back in a little bit. All right, I decided to come back a little early because we've reached the point where we've gotten up to the Schenectady, and I've just been, out here in the world. I've just been playing around, just watching it. I mean, we could build, we could run the clay down here, coal in, set up pottery, sell it to multiple cities up here. There's just so many things we could do. But I personally, I mean, some people just think that's fascinating. I find that a little boring if I don't have a specific reason for doing it. So what I'm looking at here is, we've delivered all our bread. We've got an abundance of bread in Gulfport. We could set up more deliveries to other cities that need it, and keep that going. There's just so many things we could do, but we got plenty of money, and we're kind of done. So I'm holding off on that last $500,000 to secure the money for business in Canada. I guess it's a big bribe. I don't know what that is. So anyway, in the research, I'm trying to get more people, so I've maxed out on how many people we can have, right? So we need capacity for having more people. Now, I think there's a couple ways I can do this. The first one is we're going to look at our office, and we're going to upgrade the office. Notice now we can have 15 staff, right? So now we have created the opportunity to have more people. So there's one more task I want to get going, this guy right here. and I wanted to hire some more people. Actually, he must have finished something. Got one finished, and now I had 10 out of 10. Now I can go to 15, so now I can get more people and get going. Now, that's all the room I have right now. It's all the research projects that can get started. And we have, looks like, I would say, based on what's coming up, we have plenty of staff now to go as quickly as we can to get through this. So I'm going to go away and continue playing until that's done, and I'll bring you back in at the end. By the way, I could have finished this off if I wasn't doing the research. In June of 1871, we could have been completely finished with everything, because that's at the point where I could have made that final payment, had all the bread done, could have made the final payment. Chose not to. We're delaying in order to, again, get our research completely done prior to the next episode. So I will be back as we get right close to the end. All right, welcome back. We're just about finished. We've got one last research to finish off in 18 days here, and then we'll be as far along as we can go. We could go back and do the Patterson, but we don't care because we're not going to use it ever. So we'll just finish off that one research to be finished. Now, I did want to point out one thing, and this is like coming back to where we started all this. You absolutely, if at all possible, you want to have your industries in the same city with the raw resource. So I think the way to plan this game is to look for wood, and then think about that as going to be the city that's going to have your sawmill, it's going to have your paper mill, and it's going to have your book industry. They call it polygraph. So those are three industries that you're going to want to put in the city that has your wood. And I'll show you why. We've got Erie here. I've got it upgraded up to, it's really pumping out the wood. There's plenty of wood here, right? But if we look over here at Salinas, we're barely able to keep that lumber mill going all the time. We can, but we can barely do it. If we were to upgrade it, we need to run a bunch of trains. And that's fine, you can run a bunch of trains. But if we had the lumber mill in Erie, we would need 0 trains, and we would be able to keep that lumber mill completely running all the time, and later add a paper mill, and later add a polygraph factory. So we would have wood, lumber, paper, and books all being created in one city very efficiently. The same thing with our where we started this down here in Gulfport. You take this grain field, and then you do flour, and then you do bread, and you can also do the grain field and add a farm and do meat and make the leather that's needed for clothing. Then if you find some wool, add textiles wherever that wool is, then ship your textiles here, add clothing here. You could have, where your grain field is, you would have a classic setup would be flour mill, bread factory, meat, also sausage, by the way, because sausage is made from the meat in this supply chain. And you could have, what am I missing? Flour, bread, meat, sausage, and clothing, because everything but the textiles would be made right here, and you would just ship textiles to the clothing, and you would be making all that stuff in one place. Now that's for the grain and for the wood, and now for the coal, it's not quite as clean, but for coal, you could actually use your coal, ship in clay and make pottery, ship in iron ore and make steel, and then the steel is used in other things, so you could move the steel to perhaps either move lumber to the steel or steel to the lumber to make tools. So basically, it is way more efficient to have, for example, again, beat the dead horse, if we had Erie where we had logging and a sawmill and a paper mill and a polygraph factory, I could be making all that stuff with 0 cost of moving the goods back and forth, 0 time wasted. It's just a beautiful thing, and then we could ship the finished products out to other cities, which is much more efficient than this setup, where even though these are close, even though this is a short run, just one city over, but it would take more trains than we have. I think I have 4 on there right now. It would take more than 4. That's more than 4. I'm probably up to 6 And it would take more than that to keep this thing going, particularly if we wanted to add paper mill and other stuff. Now, you may say, well, there's no industry slots here. Well, later on, we'll see how that can change and how we can manipulate that and just make the game really almost ridiculously easy. There is an OP department coming up a little bit later down the road. How's that for a tease? So anyway, I think we're about done. Let's pay this and see. I don't think there's anything else. There may be. Let's find out. Nope, that's it. All right, so we finished off. So I hope you enjoyed that. I enjoyed playing it. I hope you saw something you like. If you do like this game, or if you think you want to see more of this, please make sure you hit the like button. Add in the comments if you'd like to see more of this, and let me know what you think about it. And I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you saw something that will help you become a better player. I hope you'll like, comment, share, and subscribe, and join us for our next Railroad Corporation 2 video. Thank you.